What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Burning Hammer podcast. I'm your host, Mark Izzo, and alongside me, as always, is the other host, Dillon O'Brien. Dillon, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well, Mark. It's been a couple weeks. We took a week off, actually. Um, as per request by me, actually. I was semester started and just started. Joined the pro wrestling team with Mark over at Vendetta Sports Media. So just been getting adjusted with school, getting the semester back started, and writing more blogs about wrestling. Which is just been busy, but good busy, entertaining busy, fun busy. You know what I mean? Busy's good. And as far as this is concerned. And but I'm excited to be back. I'm excited to talk some wrestling. And yeah, but you could just be on the lookout for me and Mark. We're pretty much the main writers wrestling for the wrestling team over there at Vendetta Sports Media. Mark a little bit more than me. Probably get more articles out of him just because he's a little more advanced at this point. But yeah, it's an exciting step for the Burnt Hammer boys.
That's
And
right. And you can go over to vendettasportsmedia.com to read all of our blogs, or you can click the link in our social media and it will be there. But I promise once we get to it, we did something during our absence from the podcast, which we'll get into once we talk about that subject. But before we get into anything, Dillon, you know what time it is. Let me see what t-shirt you're rocking for this episode.
oh yeah, so this episode, I am rocking a at this point I think it's you can say iconic T-shirt. It's definitely one of the most sold T-shirts of the last decade, I'd say, in professional wrestling. I don't have those numbers confirmed or anything. I can
Allegedly.
um just
Allegedly.
based off my thoughts, I'd be pretty surprised to find out if this was not a top 10 selling shirt in the last decade, if not one like a top 5 selling shirt. And that is, of course, the Becky Lynch, the Man T-shirt, the classic one.
Very nice. It is a classic. It is a classic.
Seeing entire crowds of people wearing that shirt at during like that prime feud between her and Ronda, and yeah, just and she's hurt right now, but we're excited to get the Man back when she comes back, and
Agree.
and it looks like we're gonna be getting the Man back
Yes.
rather than
And
big time Becks.
that's very true. And for my t-shirt, I have a goodie. I would say it's one of my more random professional wrestling t-shirts, but it's still a good one nonetheless. And I can't stand up because I have my dog sitting in my lap, but I have the American Alpha t-shirt from NXT.
Nice, hell yeah! I feel like I had that shirt as well, and I lost it.
Probably. I know we talked pretty heavily about American Alpha in one of
Yeah,
the previous episodes. One of the best tag teams to go through NXT, and one of the best tag teams that really never was on the main roster.
yeah,
Unfortunately, because of an injury. But Chad Gable still doing his thing with Otis, which is really cool to see. And those are two just extremely entertaining guys, and hopefully they get a big push. So before we dive into the episode, if you're watching on YouTube, first of all, thank you. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. That way you stay up to date with when we release new episodes. Now, another good way to stay up to date with when we release new episodes is to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. All of those are at The Burnt Hammer. Again, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at The Burnt Hammer. That's a good place to go to get our initial reactions on things, breaking news, all that sort of stuff. You can follow Dillon on Twitter and Instagram at DillO'Brien_wave. Me and him have been live tweeting a bunch of stuff for the WWE and AEW weekly shows, and again for like breaking news or to get our initial thoughts and reactions to anything that happens in the professional wrestling world. Make sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram, and you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at @markizzo_wave. So again, that's a great way to get the quickest updates and our quickest thoughts and reactions for everything that happens in the professional wrestling world.
Yeah,
Now,
I was just
go
gonna
ahead.
say real quick, absolutely. You do Mark live tweets, I believe every Rampage.
Yep.
Do you do live
Every
result?
show that I'm watching, I am live tweeting during it
Yeah,
as well.
and I'm gonna start. I'll be watching Raw live every Monday from now on. So I'll be able to live tweet Raw, and but you can also be on the look. Both of us do the weekly results and reviews of all the weekly shows. And I'll tell you what, right here, just do a quick little plug to our articles. Just like when you're reading our blogs, you're not gonna be reading this ticky tack shit that sounds like an essay. You know what I mean? This is really like this is wrestling fans. We are two diehard wrestling fans, given really just writing just like our half the time this is ideas we come up with and stuff we are just like really passionate about. So like I said, it's not like you're not gonna be reading any essays or anything like that. This is like real wrestling fans giving their real thoughts, talking like real human beings. And you know what I mean? And we're going to be doing it a lot more. So if you're someone who doesn't have, you know, the amount of time to listen to the pod quite as much, or you do, anything we don't cover on the pod, pretty much any major wrestling news is going to be covered like on the website through our articles. One of us will end up covering it. So yeah, really just be on the lookout for that because we'll both be grinding with that a lot more as well.
Yeah, for sure. Because I feel like a lot of times with a lot of people who are writing blogs, whether it's professional wrestling or any other sport, a lot of other companies you sort of follow like the same um like script of how to write it, and a lot of
Yeah,
essays just or
like
blogs just sound the exact
me
same.
and Mark are not a couple of writers who were hired to write about professional wrestling. We are two diehard wrestling fans who voluntarily came on to write about professional wrestling. Like this was, like I said, this is something we love to do. It's our passion. Like we love this stuff. We love watching it. We love talking about it with each other. We love talking about it with anybody who is willing to listen. So it's just it's a really big move for us. We're making big moves over here at the Burnt Hammer podcast. Um,
That's right.
you know what I mean, between the two of us, and big things to come, and hopefully we're gonna just keep moving forward. But like I said, yeah, I'm rambling at this point. With that being said, let's talk about some wrestling because it's been a while. We haven't had an episode in a couple weeks.
Yeah. So the first thing we're gonna get into is AEW had a pretty big show. We're recording this on Thursday. AEW Dynamite Grand Slam was last night. There were five. That's right, five titles on the line during the Dynamite Grand Slam card, and we're gonna briefly go over a few of the matches and the main things that happened because there were a few titles that changed hands. And so the very first match was the ROH World Championship match, which was your champion Claudio Castagnoli taking on Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho is going for his 8th world title. The ROH World Championship was one that has eluded him throughout his entire career. Now, heading into this match, I was excited because I love Claudio Castagnoli and I do enjoy Chris Jericho. I think he's reinvented himself yet again. And I could have seen this going both ways. You know, as much as I love Claudio, I think I've said it before, he's probably one of the most underutilized and underappreciated wrestlers over the past decade or so. So it's nice to see him as world champion, but I could have seen Chris Jericho walk out with the Ring of Honor World Championship, and that's exactly what happened. Chris Jericho defeated Claudio to become the new Ring of Honor World Champion. Dillon, what are your initial thoughts about this? decision to put the belt on Chris Jericho?
Yeah, so right off the bat, I love Claudio. I was so excited when he won the ROH world title. It's his first world title he ever held. And Chris Jericho was going for the Ocho, as he said. He's going for the Ocho, as that's what he said. Which is, dude, Jericho's just unreal. He's hysterical. I just love him so
Yeah.
much. He's so fun to watch. Um, with that being said, I love Claudio, and I am sad to see his reign be so short. With that being said, I think it was the right decision. Um, and I think Claudio will get other opportunities at other belts. Like, I don't think this is the end for him whatsoever. But putting the Ring of Honor world title on someone like Chris Jericho immediately elevates that title. I mean, that it's extremely good for Ring of Honor. It's extremely good for the Ring of Honor Championship. It's good for AEW. Um, I really think it was the best decision. It sucks that it had to be like at the hands of Claudio, I think, but I think it was the right decision. This is huge for the Ring of Honor title. I mean, Chris Jericho's the Ring of Honor champion, man. Like, that's huge.
Yeah, I agree, because that's like the reason why he was the first AEW World Champion, is because to have someone like a Chris Jericho, who's had such a historic and illustrious career, hold the world title, it really does wonders for the brand and for the company. And I think it's going to be interesting to see what they do with the World Championship, because I feel like ROH needs to go back to weekly shows. Now, I think that an easy way to do it is similar to how they do NXT, which is just have it based in one spot with maybe 50 or 100 people in the crowd. And then you could just even post it on YouTube. And I'm not saying that like ROH should be AEW's developmental system, but I think that would be a pretty simple way to have them do weekly shows. And just because they have so many talented wrestlers on their roster, and there is a lot of history with ROH. A lot of your favorite wrestlers have gone through ROH, especially in WWE, that you probably don't know about. So I agree with you 100%. I think that it in the moment it stung a little bit, but after giving it some thoughts,
I saw
you
it coming. Like, I had a feeling it was going to happen, like, as soon as Jericho challenged him. I was like, they're going to put this title on Jericho. That's so good for
yeah.
the title. Like, it's just too, yeah. It's just, I think it was the right decision. And as you were saying with Ring of Honor, like, and how great it is for Ring of Honor, and me and you have both mentioned, especially you. I know you do a weekly Rampage result review, and Rampage has been incredibly lackluster. It feels um, very like how SmackDown felt when they got rid of the brand split. You know what I mean? It's just bad. It's just not good. It feels very filler. And a great way to do that is make Rampage, Ring of Honor Rampage on Friday nights or something. Like, make it the Ring of Honor show. Even though it's only an hour, I think it would be huge if you just focused that one show to the Ring of Honor titles. It doesn't even have to be called the Ring of Honor. You know what I mean? I think that's a good way to solve two problems, and you know what I mean? Kill two birds with one stone. Get even more screen time for Ring of Honor, and let them showcase, because it's such a historic company. Like, they've done so much for professional wrestling, the Ring of Honor name, and it's so great to have Chris Jericho as the champion. Got to give him the screen time to really do it. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
to bring prestige to the title. So obviously Jericho's going to get the screen time, but I think it's good. I think it would help AEW with their very filler feeling that they have with Rampage, and it would help Ring of. I mean, they're the same company now, basically. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
all under the same thing. But I just think it would be. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
think everyone knows
And
what I mean.
I'll say this too, because I've written it during my Dynamite and Rampage reviews or previews. Their shows have been seriously lacking. especially following all of the drama that went down with CM Punk. But even prior to that, like the Dynamites and especially the Rampages have just felt very lackluster.
Rampage, especially, yeah.
Rampage has really just felt like a joke, and you could just tell that they're not really putting much
Yeah.
effort into
It
it, and
feels
it's
like
just like,
WWE main event, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's
which is still a thing. It
which
is
is
still
crazy.
a
I
thing.
didn't know that, honestly.
Yeah, and so I think give ROH a weekly show. And going off like what you said, like Jericho is going to be presented, and he's going to be presented as the ROH champion pretty frequently, which is like sort of an issue because with the other belts, because Daniel Garcia just won the Pure Championship, but we haven't really seen much of him since he won. And then Dalton Castle and the boys are the ROH 6-man tag team, or the trios champions, excuse me, the trios champions for ROH, and they haven't really been wrestling much. I think they might have just recently wrestled on AEW Dark. So like they need to start featuring some more stuff on AEW's weekly programming, and even if that is turning Rampage more into like an ROH show, I think that could benefit everyone involved because right now AEW Rampage is lacking. And
Yeah,
you could
that's what I'm
it's
saying. Like,
very easy to
Rampage
tell.
sucks. Like, it's not like they're like it's not like we're fucking too like you're giving up fucking unnecessary matches between like Matt Hardy and you know what I mean? I don't know. It's
Yeah.
fucking stupid. Like
Yeah.
they just need to with that being said,
I
Grand Slam seemed like it was a good show.
Grand Slam was awesome. It
Yeah.
was one of the better Dynamite shows that I've seen in quite some time. It because they every once in a while they'll do these weekly shows where it's like kind of a pay-per-view, but like
Yeah.
not where it's like Battle of the Belts or like Winter is coming, or like Fighter Fest, or just like these weird weekly names that's supposed to just have like a pay-per-view feel. And this one was the one that felt most like a pay-per-view. The crowd was super into it, which is always awesome to see. It makes the show better for everybody. It was at Arthur Ashe Stadium, legendary tennis spot. And so they even had a few of legendary New York rappers, I believe, come out during the show with some wrestlers, which was pretty cool to see. So definitely they got to do something different with Rampage. If you want to hear my thoughts on Rampage, if you want to read me tear them apart, you can watch or go read my reviews of Rampage on vendettasportsmedia.com. And Dillon covers the Raw and SmackDown preview and results and that sort of stuff for SmackDown and Raw. So moving on, we have another title change, which was the Acclaimed are now the AEW Tag Team Champions. They beat Swerve in Our Glory in another pretty good match. They faced first off at AEW All Out a few weeks ago, but Swerve in Our Glory got the better of them, and the people were upset when the Acclaimed lost that match. They booed the hell out of Swerve in Our Glory, and then in the weeks since, Swerve Strickland has sort of become more of a heel, and then Keith Lee's just sort of doing his own thing, which is interesting, but it's also a little bit odd to have like everyone love one person so much but hate his tag team partner, because it was funny because once Swerve's music hits, he goes, "Whose house?" And the whole crowd just screams, "Swerve's house!" And then he comes out and they boo the piss out of him. And
Mm-hmm.
then Keith Lee comes out and everyone goes nuts. So it's interesting to see two wrestlers in a team like that are such a contrast of emotions from the crowd. But the Acclaimed finally winning some gold in AEW. I've said it before. Um, they needed a big push. I know a few weeks ago, I've been saying it for a while. The Acclaimed are super over with the crowd. They're a really unique and entertaining act, and they're sneaky good in the ring. So I'm definitely happy to see them grab the AEW Tag Team Championships.
Yeah, I think it was definitely the right move. I think it was time. Obviously, this match couldn't be quite as good as their other match, which I think was a match. Their first match was like really fucking hard to top, dude. Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think it was the right move. Like I really think it was the right move, and I'm interested what they do with Strickland and Keith Lee, because I think they might split them up now.
Well, it was. I always thought when they were going to lose the tag titles, it was going to be Strickland turning on Lee, which is
Yeah.
I still think that's how they should have done it. Because they have the history of Strickland turning on him, and then they sort of rebuilt their relationship. But then, especially as of late, Strickland has been having more heelish tendencies, getting some heat from the crowd and stuff. And um, I know a lot of people probably don't know this, but I just like randomly saw it that Strickland was tag team champions with the Fallen Angel, Christopher Daniels, in some indie promotion. And then he turned on Christopher Daniels in that smaller promotion. So that was just like, if he turns on Christopher Daniels in that, why am I supposed to not think he's about to turn on Keith Lee? So I still think that's how they should have done it. I still think that's something that can happen. But now I think it's more likely that like Keith Lee and Strickland go full heel as a tag team. But the Acclaimed are just awesome, dude.
Yeah.
They're so funny. And the crowd going nuts every time they scissor each other. Like
Yeah.
that shit, hilarious.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah,
Especially
I need that T-shirt. One of
the
their
Scissor Me Daddy shirt.
Scissor Me Daddy ass T-shirt.
Yeah.
Got to get one of those. Pretty funny. Yeah.
So absurd.
So another major thing that happened was during the AEW Interim Women's World Championship match, which was your champion Toni Storm defending against Serena Deeb, Athena, and Britt Baker in a fatal four-way match. Now, the match itself was pretty damn good, but it was what happened after the match that was pretty insane. Formerly known as Paige, Saraya has debuted and is officially all elite. She appeared after the match once Serena Deeb and Toni Storm or Serena Deeb, Britt Baker, and Jamie Hayter attacked Toni Storm and Athena after the match, and Saraya came to the rescue. This is pretty insane because I didn't hear anyone really reporting on this. I think that day I saw a headline that said like over the summer, like Saraya was in talks with both WWE and AEW, but I haven't seen any spoilers that said she was returning to or she was going to debut in AEW.
I had no real clue, to be honest, and it's really hard to keep things like that a secret nowadays. Seriously, I had no clue that she was about to show up. And it was awesome, dude. It was honestly one of the more shocking debuts of like recent memory, honestly.
Yeah, it was the same thing as Johnny Gargano debuting. They just like appeared. No one knew about it.
This one was more shocking, though. In my opinion, this one was more shocking. I didn't really see this one coming at all. I was like, oh fuck. I like kind of like forgot about her. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I didn't think she was gonna debut this fast because
neither did I. Like, I just thought there would be more time.
Because I read something that her contract with WWE was done or whatever she was doing with them still.
I knew it was done. I knew it's been done for a while.
I just didn't think she was gonna actually come back to like wrestle again.
Yeah, me. I knew she was gonna wrestle again. She said it. Like, she said that was part of the reason that I'm pretty sure she left WWE was because she wanted to wrestle again. But yeah, man, it's huge for AEW. It's huge for the AEW women's division, a division that has I'll say like overall has just really not underperformed, because it's not really on the women. It's just the women's division that has not been booked properly or booked very well. And getting somebody like her is just huge. You know what I mean? Like, you could put the title on her immediately if you wanted to. Like, she's and let's not forget, like, dude, I'm fucking excited to see her in the ring again, dude. Like, she's good. Like, it's not, you know what I mean? We haven't seen her wrestle in so fucking long. It's about time. Like, it's exciting for first, congratulations to her. making a return back to the ring. It's amazing. And yeah, dude, it's huge for the women's division. It's huge for AEW too as well. This was really big, especially with like the way WWE's been going lately. You know what I mean? Because Saraya is not somebody who is. She's not somebody that like. This is a big signing. I think this is like much bigger than than even a lot of people realize. Is essentially what I'm trying to say.
It's huge because I will say
She can be a
this.
face of that company.
Yeah.
Like she
And
can be is essentially what I'm saying.
I'm gonna say this. I've said it many times before. AEW has an extremely talented women's division, but they have been getting booked extremely poorly. I mean, if you look at any Rampage, any Dynamite, any pay-per-view show, they maybe will have one match on all of those. Like you
Mhm.
can't fit two women's matches on a 2-hour show, then there's something seriously wrong. And it's not like they don't have the talent to do it. They have extremely talented wrestlers. They're just not doing it for some reason. And like even before when
'Cause
we
they'd
were
rather have
talking,
these, like, bullshit 8-man tag matches, and it's just, like, weird.
yeah, and because now I feel like they've backed themselves into a corner because who's gonna beat Jade Cargill for the TBS title? She's
It should
essentially
have been
beaten everyone.
Athena. It should have been Saraya.
She's gonna go for the world title, dude. I don't
Yeah,
think she's
that's
gonna win the
true.
TBS title. But that's what I'm saying, like, I agree, it should have been Athena, and I predicted that she was gonna beat her at All Out, but
Yeah.
Cargill beat her in, like, 4 minutes. So it's like, it essentially feels like everyone has all of the the women's division, they just needed a bit of a refresh, and they need proper booking, because they are extremely talented, and I think Saraya coming in and, debuting for AEW is huge, and like you said, she can be the face of the company. Um, so I'm super excited to see what she does in AEW, and I'm really excited to watch her put on absolute bangers of a match against all of the talented women
Yeah.
in the division.
And
So
let's not forget either, she's so good on the mic, dude. Like, like, she's
yeah,
amazing on the mic. She might be, like she's one of the most talented women that I can think of on the mic. Like, there's not too many women more talented than her. Um,
yeah,
she's really amazing, and because she hasn't been in ring for so long, um, it might not be as fresh in people's minds, like just how big of a signing this was, and just how like how talented she is. But huge for AEW, huge for wrestling, huge for women's wrestling. So I'm
yeah.
excited. I'm excited to see her back in the ring.
Yeah, definitely. If you're newer in professional wrestling and you don't know who she is, definitely go watch some highlights on YouTube because she is extremely talented, and probably one of the best women wrestlers of the past decade or so. So definitely make sure to if you're not familiar with their work, go check it out. Um, and then the main event, we have a new AEW World Champion. They vacated the title after everything that went down with CM Punk, and CM Punk was injured, and then now he's out for like 6 to 8 months. So, luckily, instead of just doing another interim champion, they vacated the title. They held a tournament of past champions, not only of the past AEW champions, but also past TNT champions. And then in the finals, fellow Blackpool Combat Club members John Moxley and Brian Danielson faced off. And John Moxley is now a 3-time and the first ever 3-time AEW World Champion. Dillon, what are your thoughts about the decision to put the belt back on Moxley when he was right now? He's supposed to be on vacation for 6 weeks. So
Um, yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, if anybody deserves it, it's him. You know what I mean? I think he deserves to be the 3-time champ. I think he deserves to be the first 3-time champ. I think he deserves to be the face of the company once again. I think if out of everybody, he just fucking deserves it, man. And it's not that Danielson doesn't deserve it, and I wouldn't have been mad. Um, but like Moxley is AEW, man. Like Moxley's AEW.
Yeah.
When you think of AEW, you think of John Moxley. That's the first name you think of at this point in my head. You know what I mean? Like, he's done so much for that company, man.
Yeah. And so, I mean, I'm still trying to decide how I feel about it because going in, I was pretty set that Danielson was going to win the title, and I
I
think part of
wanted
me
Danielson
is
to win.
upset. Yeah, part
Yeah.
of me is upset that he didn't win, but in the end, having since MJF is looming in the background with the casino chip, it makes more sense for Moxley to be the champ heading into a feud with MJF. But I definitely think they need to put a title on Danielson ASAP. So there's plenty of titles in AEW that they can put on him. Not that they really put much effort into some of those titles, but initially
It'd be
I was
interesting to see a feud between him and Daniel Garcia for the pure title.
yeah. Um, Garcia is I don't know which I think Danielson is his idol, but Jericho is his mentor. So it they Garcia is essentially just a younger version of Danielson. They like
Mhm.
wrestle almost the exact same. So that would be an awesome feud. I'd like to see him wrestle Pac for the All Atlantic title
Ooh, yeah.
because
Forgot
the
that
all
title even existed.
it's still a belt. They it's funny because he won it and then they just like didn't feature it on any shows for like a month. But now as of late they're finally starting to feature it on television more. And I think they need to do the same with the trios titles because since they won it, they haven't really had a match. No storyline is really going with the trios titles. So
I'll give
they
that
need to do
one.
something with that.
I'll give them the benefit of the doubt with that one. With the trios titles.
Well, I don't know. I feel like they have enough trios teams to have at least one team come at them. Um, but shout out to Pac for being the first person in AEW to hold two titles at the
Yeah.
same time,
Yeah.
which I feel like not enough people are talking about. Mostly, probably because it's like the two almost forgotten titles and two of the newest titles in AEW. So I've said it before. I'll say it again. I've said it numerous amounts of times. Pac is a top five wrestler in the world, however you slice it. And what is it? PWI? They just came out with their top 500 wrestlers in the world list, and so I wrote a little blog about that, giving my thoughts and opinions on the top 20 list. Seth Rollins at 17 is a crime. It's insane to me that he is number 17 um, when there's a lot of names ahead of him that shouldn't really be there. Moxley's at 12, which is insane. So if you want to read my thoughts about that, you can go over to vendettasportsmedia.com to read that blog. But it's interesting to see where AEW is going to go from here. I'm assuming MJF is going to be the first person to feud with Moxley, but they're also holding a number one contender battle royal on Rampage this Friday to challenge next for the title. So I think it might be a little bit before MJF actually challenges for the AEW
Mhm.
World Championship. And we heard from MJF on this during the show that I just want to talk about briefly. He cooked Wheeler Yuta on the mic. And he's from Long Island. It was in New York, so obviously the crowd was really supporting him. So putting anyone up against him in New York is a bad idea. And poor Wheeler Yuta just got showed up pretty bad during that. But that was another really good promo. Um, but that's it. They're holding another AEW Rampage Grand Slam. I haven't looked at the official card yet, but it does seem to be quite a bit um, less interesting than the Dynamite was. I don't know if there's any titles on the line. Putting 5 on this show seemed bold. I still think it's probably going to end up being a mistake because I'm just going to go out on a limb and say the Rampage Grand Slam is probably going to be lacking. So we'll have to see how that all plays out. But we are going to move into WWE. Um, WWE's been really good as of late, and we have the Extreme Rules premium live event that is coming up. And me and Dillon are actually going to Extreme Rules We bought tickets. We're gonna hit the Wells Fargo Center, and we're gonna watch one hell of a show. So pumped on that. It's gonna be my first WWE event since we went to was that Extreme Rules that we went to a few years ago?
I believe it was actually. I believe it was Extreme Rules. I
Yeah.
believe it was.
And so it's gonna be my first one in a little bit. Dillon went to a Monday Night Raw show a few months ago, so it's gonna be
Very
exciting.
lackluster Monday Night Raw, may I add.
I bet.
It
I
was the
bet.
worst. It was the worst WWE event I've ever been to, by far. Like, it was
Yeah.
bad, dude. Like, it was like I was as the wrestling fan of the group of people we were with, like, the group of people we were with weren't, like, huge wrestling fans. Like, they were just, like, thought it would be fun to go.
Yeah.
They don't, like, not like wrestling, but I'm, like, obviously the biggest fan of the bunch, and I was, like, embarrassed, like, as the wrestling fan. I was like, "Dude, wrestling is so much cooler than this, I swear to God." Like, it was a bad show. It was a bad show. Anyway.
Uh, yeah, I bet. And that was prior
Forgot I
to,
went to that. Yeah.
yeah, that was prior to Triple H, taking over. It might have been a year ago or something because he asked I was offered to go, but,
Bro, it was a while ago.
yeah.
I got the ticket for free.
Nice.
I wasn't gonna go. Like, my brother was like, "Yo, we have an extra ticket." Obviously, you're the person he
Yeah.
thought of to hit up.
But Extreme Rules, October 8th, which is really only a few weeks away. We're going to be there, so make sure to stay up to date with our social media to get all the exclusive stuff from Extreme Rules. But let's talk about the Extreme Rules card. If you want to read my early match card predictions for Extreme Rules, I published it a week or two ago, but you can check it out on Vendetta Sports Media. I do early match card predictions for every pay-per-view. Usually I publish it when it's about a month out. I have one for AEW Full Gear, which is like 2 months out. So definitely check those out. But the first match that was announced was Ronda Rousey taking on Liv Morgan. And most recently, it was made an Extreme Rules match. Dillon, what are your initial reactions to this match? To this match in general, and it being an Extreme Rules match?
So I will tell you this. If I'm being honest, I was a little surprised that they went right back to Ronda. But I guess it was more they just wanted to give Liv a clean win before they put her back up against Ronda. And it doesn't matter. I'm excited for this match. I'm more excited for this match than I was excited at Extreme Rules for this match. You know what I mean? It doesn't have.
Yeah.
Oh no, excuse me, SummerSlam. I'm more excited for this match than I was for it at SummerSlam because I think Liv has a better chance. You know what I mean? I think it's going to be a real match, and it's going to be an Extreme Rules match. I'm really interested to see how this plays out. Like, this could be and especially with it being an Extreme Rules match, like, there's a way to give Liv a clean win without making Ronda look super weak, since it's an Extreme Rules match.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited. Honestly, really
Yeah,
excited. We're gonna be there in
I
person,
will.
dude. It's gonna be sick.
Yeah. I will say it was a bit odd to have her face Ronda because after she beat Ronda, Ronda sort of just went out and just like was causing a ruckus
Yeah.
for poor Adam Pearce. And I was like, all right, well, she's just gonna be away from the title for a little while, and Liv's just gonna start picking up some wins and establishing herself as champion. So I was a little surprised that they're doing it this soon.
Do you think
I
they
think
put the title back on Ronda?
absolutely not.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
And I think the Baszler match was to make Liv look like more of a threat because during the Baszler match she seemed more aggressive and she seemed like she did what she had to do to win. So I think during this Ronda Rousey match, it's an Extreme Rules match at Extreme Rules. Hopefully, it's the main event.
This is like essentially this is the closest thing to a hometown show for her, I believe, too.
Probably, yeah, because she's from Asbury Park.
Yeah, let me look it up.
She's from somewhere in Jersey, which is where me and Dillon reside in South Jersey, and Extreme Rules is in Philadelphia, which is about 25 minutes away from us. But on last year's show, I don't know if you know this, Dylan, but at the last year's Extreme Rules, they only had one match that was a stipulation, which is kind of crazy. And so
Yeah, I
this year
know.
they've only announced 2 matches, and both of them have stipulations. So
Yeah, because it's supposed to be every match has a stipulation. That
That's
was
what
the
I
original,
thought.
that was the original like purpose of Extreme Rules. Like the purpose of the pay-per-view was they made this Extreme Rules a pay-per-view, so they had one night a year where they went all crazy, and every match had a stipulation. When we went to Extreme Rules, every match had a stipulation. We went live when it was in Philly a few years ago. I think it was probably 2018 or 2019.
Yeah, probably around there.
I think the main event was the mixed tag match between Seth and Becky.
It was Seth and Becky against Corbin and
Yo, wait,
Lacey
am I tripping?
Evans?
Yeah, were we at the Roman Reigns and Undertaker tag team match?
I don't remember, because I will say I was just looking through my photos and I
Let's
just
check
have
that out real
a
quick.
video of Undertaker coming out, but like I
Bro,
don't remember when I went to him. Why
Bro, no, because I was thinking about that the other day too. We need to figure this out real quick. We just got to go off topic. We can keep it in because I'm sure it's entertaining.
Bro, because I remember we were pumped because we were like, dude, like this is like how many people actually get to just watch the Undertaker, and it was like during his like last years, it's like,
Yeah,
dude,
bro.
like we're just gonna remember this for the rest of our lives. But that mixed tag match was insane because Corbin hit
It was
a
at
deep
Extreme
stick.
Rules.
Was it?
It was no, dude. It was versus Drew McIntyre and Shane McMahon.
What?
The mixed Undertaker and Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre and Shane McMahon was at Extreme Rules 2019.
How did that come to be? How did McIntyre and Shane McMahon get a team? That's insane.
Wait, let's make sure that was in Philly before we start fucking, bro. But I'm pretty sure because I was thinking the same shit the other day. I thought that was the main event. I thought the mixed tag match was the main event. Maybe we went twice.
I don't know. That's the Extreme Rules is the show that
It's in Philly a lot.
Yeah, it's because of ECW. Shout out ECW. But it's funny because when I was writing that the early match card predictions,
oh,
I
bro,
was like,
you know what? No, dude, that was the same fucking show, dude.
Was it?
That was the same fucking show. Yeah,
Damn.
then we were there. That was the same fucking show, dude.
Hell yeah.
You know what it was? It was Undertaker. Didn't they do this match because Undertaker had like such a bad match with somebody?
Who he did team up with Roman?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And if you have that video, it was there. Like we were there.
I have the video on my phone.
Yeah, no, we did see that match. It was just funny. Yeah.
It's just funny because like I had no idea what it was from, but like I knew I saw the Undertaker. I didn't think it was at Extreme Rules, and I've just been like trying to like.
I knew we saw the Undertaker too, but like it just randomly like popped in my. I was trying to think of it too, and it randomly popped in my head. I was like, I'm pretty sure we saw him tag team with Roman Reigns, but I don't remember who it was against. Yeah, that was the same show, so we did see that match.
All right, that makes sense. At least we're not losing it. But
maybe that was the main event. That was probably the main event. Or no, that wasn't the main event.
No, that couldn't have been the main event.
That was the first match. That was the first match, I think, because I remember because Brock cashed in on Seth after the mixed tag. That was how
awesome.
It ended.
That was that's definitely a bucket list moment, being live when someone cashes in.
Yeah, it was weird though because we were just like it sucked because we like saw it coming.
Yeah, we were pissed that he did it because we didn't really want him.
We were like, fuck, this sucks, but also at least we saw Money in the Bank cash in.
Yeah, dude, and remember we sat like 2 rows behind that guy that looked exactly like Bray Wyatt.
Oh yeah, bro, he was dressed up like him.
Yeah, that was
I forgot
awesome.
about that. That was awesome.
Yeah. So we're gonna be at Extreme Rules this year. The other match that they just announced was Seth Rollins taking on Riddle in a fight pit. Now, if you, as I'm sure many people are unfamiliar with what a fight pit match is, they've done it in NXT. I don't know how many times, maybe once or twice, but it's essentially a steel cage, but there's no ropes, and then you can walk on like the top of the outside of the cage, like it's a platform. So like the idea
Can we
isn't
pull
to
up a
escape the
picture?
cage.
Can I?
Yeah, I'll you tell me how excited you are for this match, because I know initially you were pretty pumped for it, and I'm going to find a picture of it.
No, yeah. I mean, I was hype. Me and you were pretty hype because we decided pretty early on that we were going to go to Extreme. We decided pretty early on that we were going to go to Extreme Rules.
Yeah.
Like once we saw that it was in Philly, we were like, all right, like we haven't really been to an event in a really long time. The Raw I went to, like I said, it was very last minute and it fucking sucked. Dude,
Well, and I'm just like, I'm at the point in my life where it's just like, I feel regret for not going to as many professional wrestling shows as
Oh
I should
no,
have gone to.
totally. Like we got to go like every time we really have the opportunity, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
that's
like
like
I
I've
won't say
like
exactly how much tickets were, but like especially for the price we got. Tickets weren't crazy. Like
yeah,
it wasn't really that bad.
yeah.
It's going to be
And
a good
like
time.
we've said it weeks ago, but we will be at WrestleMania when it's in
Oh,
Philly.
dude, yeah.
We've
I was
decided.
talking the other day, dude, I think I want to do SmackDown Raw. I think I want to do SmackDown Mania and Raw.
Should just gotta.
Yeah, like I wonder if they're going we were talking I wonder if they're going to sell like 4-packs.
They
Like I
have
wonder
to.
if they're going to sell like tickets to everything. Like
I'm
one
sure
ticket
they.
to everything.
I'm
Or
sure
like
they do
one
sell.
purchase where you can, you know what I mean, like packages for the whole week.
Yeah,
Dude, cuz we can stay. Like we have places to stay. Like we live
that's
here.
right.
So,
And
uh,
like who knows where we'll be in like a year and a half, 2
no,
years.
yeah, literally I might live in Philly by
Yeah.
then. Um so anyway, these people don't need to know about my living situation. Fuck them.
Yeah. You don't know us.
Anyway, yeah.
All right. So here's the picture.
The fight pit
I like
match.
I like can't make it super big
That's fine.
without going to a website. So let me just share this real quick. All right. Do you
Yeah,
see
there
it?
you go. Yeah,
All
that's all
right.
you need
So
to see.
in case you're not watching and just listening, it's pretty much exactly as we described it. It's just like
It's a
it's just
cage. Yeah.
It's just a cage. There's no ropes. It's essentially the wrestling ring without the ropes, but there's a cage that goes around it. And then it's also the top is a platform. And I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure the only way to win this match is by knockout or submission. Um, and watch this match. It was Matthew Riddle taking on Timothy Thatcher. So if you want to see what is up with the fight pit, definitely go back and watch this
Yeah.
match because they've done it not that much, and
Yeah.
I think it's
But
going to be interesting.
this is a match that favors Matt Riddle. Just so you
Yes,
know. This is the match that they the reason they're doing this match is because of Matt Riddle's MMA background.
yeah, and he's done the fight pit before.
Yeah,
Because
but this match is designed for someone with an MMA background, right?
yes, yep,
And
it's essentially an MMA match.
yeah, that's what I'm
uh,
saying. It's essentially
essentially,
it's just a cage that you can
it's
climb up on top of.
I'm excited. You know what I'm excited
Dude,
for
we're
is
gonna
what.
see that shit live. And you know what? Fuck everyone. Cause now everyone's gonna be so dude, honestly, this is good shit. Cause I did this shit on purpose, bro. We had options and I purposely picked the last row. And that shit is gonna be fucking worth it when we can stand up for the entire fight pit match
That's
with
right.
no one behind us. You know what I mean? Or sit down. Like we're gonna be in the last row. We're gonna have the best view for the fight pit. We're gonna be able to see
Yeah,
directly into the pit.
yeah,
And all the
yeah,
other fuckers are gonna be blocked by the cage. It's gonna be sick.
yeah. Idiots.
Last row for the W, unless they want to do that thing where they bring them down to bring two people down the ringside or whatever.
Okay, I'll be down. If,
Yeah, you know how they do that sometimes or whatever.
yeah. Well, they really only do that. I thought if the show isn't selling well, this will probably be sold out.
Most likely.
Um, Regardless, it's going to be awesome. There honestly isn't a bad seat at the Wells Fargo Center.
Oh
It's where
no,
the
no, no.
Sixers
Yeah, we're not
play
worried about it.
and the Flyers play. There isn't a bad seat. Even going there before, when we went to Extreme Rules, we were pretty high up, and we were just like, "Damn, like we could like this is a good seat."
No, yeah, we could see everything, and our seat, like our angle, should be better than it was that time. So
Yeah. So Extreme Rules, it's gonna be awesome. Me and Dillon, we're gonna be there live in person. So be on the lookout for that. If you want to read my early match card predictions, head over to vendettasportsmedia.com. If you want to read Dillon's articles, he does the Raw and SmackDown previews and results. In case you missed those shows, you can check that out over at vendettasportsmedia.com. We also do some fantasy and feature pieces. I just published an article today where I ranked every active WWE championship belt. And number one might surprise you. So definitely go over and check it out. If you want to stay up to date with when we release all of our new episodes, you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at The Burnt Hammer. And that's where we post a lot of things that happen, like breaking news, or if you want to get our initial reactions on anything that just happens that is breaking news, make sure to follow us on there. You can follow Dillon on Instagram and Twitter at DillO'Brien_wave. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Markizzo_wave. We live tweet during the shows. And like I said, we give our initial reactions, everything like that, through our social media. If you're watching on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. It really helps us out a lot. If you're listening via audio, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, make sure to follow us or subscribe to us, whatever it is that your podcast streaming platform does. So you will get a reminder of when we release new episodes, and it'll just pop up right in your library. All of that stuff is free to do. This has been a really good episode. We're happy to be back. We're sorry we had to take the week off, but we came back with a big surprise that we're going to Extreme Rules. So if you made it this far, first of all, thank you. It really means a lot. And stay tuned. We should be back at it for next week's episode. I'm Mark Izzo. He's Dillon O'Brien. And this has been another episode of the Burning Hammer Podcast. We will catch you in the next one.
Catch you later.